Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of GGReemie. Today we have our very first guest on the podcast slash show. I still have no idea what I want to call it. But our very first guest is going to be Daxximusss. He's a really great streamer friend of mine. He was so kind enough to be on the show and I'm really excited for you guys to hear our conversation. It's pretty lengthy, but I just know that you guys are gonna love every minute of this episode. It's like you get someone that you're really comfortable with and you just start talking and time flies by, and you guys are gonna feel that throughout the show. But I also want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you've given GGReemie since the beginning. It has been awesome and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Be sure to check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Hey, Gigi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GGReemie show slash podcast. I still don't know which one I want to talk or call it, but today I have a very special guest, the very first guest on the show, Mr. Daxximusss.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing? We're kind of matching a little bit.
We kind of are. I was just noticing that right now. I was like the pastels are kind of clicking.
Right. I got
I'm
the
living.
Sanrio going on.
Period. It's like some kind of like local designer from Seattle.
Oh,
it's really cute. I like the little donuts.
Oh, that's very cute. So how have you been?
I've been good. How are things going over in Reemie's world?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
The new year has been a bit like up and down.
Oh, yeah.
But I could complain, like about the TikTok ban and stuff like that. But I'm trying not to. Like, please don't take my TikTok away.
Honestly, though, I'm like, please don't take away the thing that I like doom scroll on every single day.
Exactly.
What do I do now?
Right. So I want to start off by talking about how I discovered your channel.
Okay.
So it started around, I want to say like a year ago. Back when Caliente did her first ever creator.
Oh my God, I remember
her creator
that.
challenge.
Yes.
I was watching to like see one of my friends, Mars Farts, on there. Mm-hmm. And then you popped up and you were talking. I was like, oh, I like his vibes. And then you were like, yeah, and I also like K-pop. I'm like, follow.
It's always, the K-pop always gets people.
Right. That's what I love. I'm like, another person who likes K-pop and is a streamer? Right. Sign me up. So I've been following you for, I would like to say a year or so now.
That sounds about right. Yeah, because I think it was like early 2024 or no 2024 23 I don't remember. 23. Yeah, so I was like, I remember it being like about a year, but yeah. And then I also had you on my podcast as well, and we talked about K-pop for about 3 hours.
I did not expect it to go that long, but it was
Neither
so much fun. I'm like, I'm enjoying this. So I would love to know how you got started. First and foremost, how did you get started with wanting to be a streamer slash content creator? And then what was like the first game you played on your stream?
Okay. So the content creation journey actually started like a while ago. Okay. So 2016, I was a freshman in college, and I like really wanted to do something that was like in the YouTuber realm, because that was when people like Jenna Marbles was getting like even bigger than what she was before. Colleen Ballinger, when she wasn't like a creep with her younger audience. And then like people like Bethany Moda, like the beauty influencers and all that kind of stuff, or like the people that would do like haul videos and stuff like that, the challenges and all that. So I was like, I could do that. Like that seems doable for somebody that's, starting out in college, just like has so much free time on my hands. And so I started by making YouTube videos. I did like reaction videos. I did like challenge videos and stuff like that. My best friend and I, we would do like music videos because that's like something we used to do like growing up as kids.
Okay.
And it was fun. It was really fun. But I think I had to stop doing it around like 2018 because college was getting a lot harder. Like I was having to do more projects and having to do, like, write a ton of papers and all that. And so time became an issue. So I just never had time to edit my own videos and all that. And then it came to 2020. Of course, the pandemic happened. And I was like, what do I do with all this like extra time on my hands? And I was like, I can't go anywhere. And so I like wanted to revive my YouTube channel, but like that was like when the challenge videos and the reaction stuff was starting to like die down a little bit. So I was like, what do I do? And so I decided to make my YouTube channel into ReVeluv TV, which was probably the worst time to do Red Velvet content because Wendy had gotten into that accident
Oh my
in
God,
2019.
I remember that.
Right? And then Red Velvet kind of went on a hiatus for like a while because they were just waiting for her to get better. And like, I think they had only released Irene and Sogi's subunit in 2020. And then like, I think Gary had some kind of drama or something that she was in. But other than that, there was like no Red Velvet content. So I felt like I was like pulling things out of thin air to try to make content for it. Which kind of burnt me out because I was like, it's more mental strife to try to figure out, okay, what am I going to post now? And like the group is inactive. Like it's taking a long time for them to do anything. And so I was like, I might have to hang this one up too. And then I would say like towards the third quarter of 2020, my brother actually built me a PC.
Oh, W brother.
Right. And because I was like, I want to start playing like PC games and stuff like that, but I didn't know like where to even start. And my brother is like really good with technology and stuff. And so he was like, if I build you a PC, would you use it? And I was like, obviously. And so he made me the PC, and then while we were in the process of like trying to put that together, I started watching League of Legends content for some reason, and I started to find the League of Legends content creators and like finding them on TikTok, and then going to Twitch, and then actually watching like streamers do stuff, because like there's a difference between watching YouTube videos and watching streamers, because it's like you get to see things in real time versus like very specifically curated content. And so for some reason watching streamers was like a thing. I would come home from work and just immediately pull up Twitch and start watching stuff. And so I was like, I could do that. Like I could put up a webcam and just play games and like talk to people, I guess. And so 2021 I got into streaming. I think when I first started streaming, I wasn't actually playing League of Legends because I was too scared to show people how bad I was at it. So I had to jump with like comfort stuff. So I would put on, I think one of my first ones was either Animal Crossing or some kind of like Mario game or something like that. But I had to do stuff that I was comfortable with because I was too afraid to play games and be bad at it. But
I mean, Animal Crossing was really popular, especially in the beginning of COVID, so...
Right, and so that's why I was like, people are probably still watching this, right? I'll stream this to my 0 viewers and see what happens, right? But yeah, since then, I've been doing streaming for the last 3 years, going on 4. And yeah.
Okay, period. What? Okay. I've always wanted to try and play League of Legends, but I downloaded it. I remember I downloaded it like when I first got my PC.
Yeah.
And then I could not figure out how to like play it. So I was like, what, screw this. I'm turning it off.
The game is very not beginner friendly because I always tell people the tutorial is the worst tutorial ever made in like gaming history.
I couldn't even find the tutorial.
And like,
I'm so lost.
The game client itself is also just like impossible to navigate, and also like hardly ever works like the way that it's intended. So I don't blame you, because when I first started, I was like, okay, where do I find anything? And then when you go into the tutorial, I'm like, okay, yeah, this seems easy. Played my first game and I was like, this is not easy.
I have someone at work who's like been trying to tell me like the different what is it called?
Like the lanes?
Yeah, like the
And
different
the
because we
roles
were
and
talking
stuff? Yeah.
we were talking about like Faker, and I was like, oh, he's a, I forget what his position is in his team, but like I'm always like interested in learning about stuff like that, even though I'm not good at it. So I'm like,
yeah,
what's
absolutely.
this? What's that? So I'm like, I don't. What's a jungler? What's this? What's that? And he was like just
Same.
telling me all of it. I remember like this much.
Yeah, like the vocabulary is like its own realm. Like when I was like learning how to play the game, and I would watch YouTube videos on like, you know, how to play the mid lane, how to play support, how to play jungle. I'm like, okay, I feel like there's another thing that I have to know, which is like dialogue and vocab, because these words that people are saying they're not clicking. I have no idea what they're talking about.
So I just stick to so for right now I'm just sticking to watching people play it. Don't know what's going on, but it looks a lot. It looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, that's where it starts. It's like you just start watching, and then you, like the more you watch it, you're like, okay, I kind of understand what's happening.
I'm like, are we winning? Yeah.
Literally.
Can you remember what's the like very first video game you ever played?
So my gaming history goes like, it starts when I was like 3 or 4. My family is actually like a big group of gamers.
I love
my
that.
dad's been playing games for a very long time. My mom is like super into like the retro stuff, like Atari and like Pac-Man and that kind of stuff. And then me being the youngest, I have an older brother, and he like whatever he would play, like if it was multiplayer, I would play with him, because, you know, siblings growing up. But what the game that I can remember specifically is Mario Kart 64, because I played a lot of games on the Nintendo 64, because that was just like the console we had, like the very first console that we had, at least the one that I played. But I would say I played more Mario Party 2 and 3, like significantly more. Because Princess Peach was a playable character, and for those of you who don't know, Princess Peach is like one of like my video game icons. Like I cannot think of a video game without thinking Princess Peach. But I would remember coming home from like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Like when I was in elementary school, I would remember coming home and wanting to play Mario Party, and I would only ever play the mini games, because like the mini games are the more fun part, and like actually playing on the board was just like, come on. And then playing with like the computer characters and not like actual people was also just like, that's so unfair. Me as a kid not realizing that Mario Party is really just RNG, and if you're good at mini games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played mostly like the Nintendo stuff growing up, but I do remember my first games being Mario Kart 64 and then the Mario Parties.
I, for the longest, didn't know that there were like other Mario parties, so I've like started off with like, not the one that just came out, but the one before that one. Super Mario? Yes. So
yes,
my little cousin absolutely loves Mario Party. Whenever my older cousin comes to visit, she makes us play, and it's always like the 90-minute ones or the 120 ones, and I'm like, girl, we're gonna be here forever.
Right. Do you understand how many turns that is? Do you understand how many games we have to play?
She does not care at all. Oh my god. So
she
you
said you're gonna sit down and play this game with me.
You're gonna play this game and you're gonna like it.
You're gonna like it. Exactly.
So, did you since you said that Princess Peach is your favorite Mario character, did you play the Princess Peach Showtime game?
I sure did. And it's a funny story, because I think I did a 12-hour stream the day that the game came out, and I remember like just being so like starstruck, which I guess is like hilarious because it's
Oh my gosh,
Princess Peach showtime. I literally was like, I have never played a Mario game besides Super Princess Peach, but I don't count that as like a like main series like Peach video game, because I didn't like the way that they made her powers emotions. Like that just seemed strange, and I was like, I don't think a female protagonist should have to rely on emotions to win your game. Like that just seems wrong to me. But they really redeemed themselves with Princess Peach Showtime, because like they put her in every possible like role that you could, and she was just portrayed so well that like by the end of the game, I remember, I think it was like a couple streams later, I did like the whole like the final boss and everything, and after like the credits started rolling, I was like sobbing because I was like, this is all I ever wanted as a kid, was just a 3D Princess Peach game that made her like in the same light as Mario was, and I just was like, it literally like fulfilled something in me as a kid, or like my inner child was very happy.
I've played the demo, and even from the demo, it's like really fun.
I was shocked that the game was that good, because at first I was like, kind of basic, just to be like, you know, different kinds of like a skater, a mermaid, a baker, swordsman, that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, cool. But like when you actually play the game, it's a lot more than just like a platformer, because like every role that she has, it's like a different style of game, like different style of playing. So I thought that was really like fun. Even like as like a game that's not like meant to be difficult, it's still enjoyable. Right. And like I'm still in my process of 100%ing the game, because I'm doing all the post game stuff now. But I'm almost done with it.
I think that like not every game has to be like super duper hard.
Oh, absolutely.
It should be enjoyable, like no matter if you're choosing easy mode, normal, some people like
whatever
super hard.
Whatever is your pace.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I want to play a game on easy mode, I should not feel like I'm being judged because of it.
Right. Like what if I just want to chill? Like what if I just want to like breeze through it and like have fun? Why does everything have to be so like I have to do this, I have to get every achievement? And like props to people who can do that, because sometimes I just want to play the game for what it is.
Exactly. Do you have any current favorite games that you're playing?
Oh, absolutely. So, like, I play a lot of League of Legends, mostly because, like, a lot of the streamers that I watch are League streamers. And I feel like when you are in an environment where you're just surrounded by people who play the game too, it just, like, it makes you feel inclined to play it. And, like, by all means, I'm not a good League of Legends player. I know like the basics, and I know how to like play the game in some capacity, but I will say it's always more fun playing with friends, and so like that's where a majority of my League of Legends gaming lies. And like I think for me, so I'm a moderator for Pikachu, who is one of like my favorite League creators right now. And like her streams are kind of what helped me like realize that I don't have to be perfect at the game, and because she makes like very beginner friendly content, so it makes me feel better about myself that like I'm in a community of people who are also like somewhat like beginners and stuff like that. And so when I play games with them, I don't know, it makes me feel good about myself. But I also have been playing a lot of Tekken, because Tekken's one of like my favorite fighting games. Well, it is my favorite fighting game.
Same.
I literally grew up playing that game. But I think ever since Tekken 8 released last year, I was really able to like learn how to actually play the game, because all I did was button mash for like however many years this series has been out. And then like watching other fighting game creators and like seeing how they play the game, I'm like, I could never. Like, I don't even know how these people can read this stuff so well. And like, I know like what you're supposed to do, but like to me, I'm like, can I just push some buttons that like, you know, like I know what the combos are and stuff, but like, can I just hi-ya and win? But I think it's also been fun too because like I know like higher ranked players that are like also like friends of mine who have been like teaching me how to do like certain cool stuff in Tekken, which also makes the game more fun to me because I'm like, ooh, I have this knowledge now and I'm gonna like kick some butt.
Top secrets.
Right. I was like, it's these secrets that I'm sure like half the player base already knows, but like I feel like more confident, so I'm gonna like do a 1-2 punch and then like we're gonna win. But yeah, right now it's mostly League and Tekken. I have been dabbling into Marvel Rivals because I'm a longtime Overwatch player, and it's essentially the same thing, just in third person. And like a lot of the characters or a lot of the heroes in the game translate, like the abilities are similar to Overwatch. So like being able to have the Overwatch experience and then go into Marvel Rivals and be like, oh, this hero plays similar to this person and this person plays similar to this person. It's been a pretty easy transition, and I've been enjoying that game too.
I've been wanting to dabble in Marvel Rivals, but I haven't had the time yet because I'm a huge lover of Marvel. So I'm like, this is my game.
Yeah,
and
I think
I'm
you
not
would
great.
like it.
I'm not a great shooter, but I'm like, maybe I could learn how to play. The best I can give you is Fortnite, and I'm not even good at that game.
I tried Fortnite, and it is just, I don't know what it is about that game, but it's just like impossible for me to play. I can't do it.
I am like the, hey, do you need a fourth person type of player?
It's so relatable. I can be there. I can like exist.
I could shield you from getting hit.
Right. Is there a thing as like support? Can I body block for like the entire game?
That's me. But going back to Tekken, I definitely understand the button mashing. I've been playing Tekken since Tekken Tag.
Me too. That was my first Tekken.
Yes, I freaking love that game. And I learned how to play Tekken from my mother because just like you, my family my family's like really big with like playing video games and the multiplayer aspects.
Icons.
So I can't play it like this. I'm a two-finger player. So
gotcha. I you know what? That's fair because I also used to be a two-finger player for like years. I'm like, this is just so much easier. Right. It's like, this is so much easier.
But I've learned that I can't do that now. Because when I first tried to play Tekken 7, the part where you have to fight, I keep forgetting the guy's name, but the one that came from Street Fighter.
Oh, Akuma.
That three section match was killing my. I had a hand cramp. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
God, yeah, Akuma was the worst.
I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. But I just learned that maybe I should like, if I'm gonna play fighting games, I might need to switch up my tactic. Because the two-finger, I hand cramp. Oh my god. I tried to play Tekken Tag because I still have my PlayStation 2. I tried to play Tekken Tag again, and trying to fight Unknown, she was whipping my ass.
I know, but she's also an icon. I love her.
She is the moment.
Right.
But, oh my god, it was so much stress. I don't know if I'm just getting old or what's going on.
Me.
Like,
literally same.
I cannot do this anymore. Do you have any games that you're looking forward to in the future?
Honestly, I like kind of went through and like looked at stuff, but I think I'm like pretty content with what I'm playing right now. For me, like it's hard to start new games and like finish them or like even want to attempt to play something new because of my ADHD. It's just like if I like something, I'm gonna stick to it and I'm gonna play it. And it takes a lot of convincing for me to start playing a new game. Like recently, I've been convinced to play Dead by Daylight.
Oh, yes.
Which has been a very frustrating but also like kind of fun experience because like I don't know what it is. That game is hard. I think it's hard. And like playing with a bunch of people who already know what they're doing is also like kind of infuriating because I'm like, how do you all know what to do and where to be? But like when I do it, I die or I get like sliced. Like, how does this happen? And then I also like recently got into Phasmophobia, which like I don't play spooky games. I'm not a spooky game person. I'm a wimp. I am afraid of everything. Like, I couldn't even play Amanda the Adventurer, and that game wasn't even that scary.
Oh my god.
But
that
like,
game stresses me out.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, when I play new games, I feel like it's more stressful than it is fun, which is why I like just don't. But there are some things that I'm looking forward to. There's Pokemon Legends AZ, I think is what it's called. It's like the Pokemon like Legends Arceus thing, but it's like the next like little lore expansion, I guess, from Pokemon X and Y, which I feel like was a game that needed a little bit more explaining, because I feel like there were so many unanswered things after you finished the main game, and like even when you tried to do the post game stuff, it didn't tell you anything else of like who, like you find this random like cave with a Mewtwo in it, you go to this random mountain, and then there's this other legendary Pokemon. It's like what where does any of this make sense? So I'm excited for that, but for the most part, like I'm very much I find my thing, I like it, and I play it until it's like burnt to a crisp.
I completely understand that because I've always seen games and I'm like, ooh, I want that game. And then I get it and I play it for a little bit and then I get distracted with another game.
That's exactly what I'm like. And like, I really wanted to start playing Infinity Nikki, because I'm like, I need a game that's like...
sad.
I was like, I need a game that's like really chill. It's pretty much just like it's a gacha game, but like you can still do like most of the game as a free-to-play player, but it's just like this like magical girl kind of like dress-up game essentially, but like you get to do like quests and things like that. So it's like Genshin, but if you were Sailor Moon Girly Pop is what I would explain it as.
Okay.
But it's also just like super chill. The music is like such a vibe. The game is beautiful. And like all of my friends that have played it, they're just like, oh, it's so relaxing. It's so great. But like, I have the game downloaded. Have I opened it? No. But like, I just have no reason to want to open it. It's like buying a new like toy, playing with it for the first day, and then you leave it on the shelf for the next 5 years.
I don't want to play with this anymore.
I don't want to play with this anymore. Literally me.
But Dead by Daylight, I can also relate. When I first started playing Dead by Daylight, I think it was like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know what the hell I was doing. I kept like turning the camera around. It's like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And next thing you know, I'm on a hook.
Right. And I was like, they're like, okay, so I'm going to do this gen. Okay, but don't do the gen yet. What do you mean? Is that not like, is that not what we're supposed to be doing right now? Right. And then like, oh, don't run this way. They're right over there. I was like, how did you see them? I was like, I didn't see anything. And then like some of the killers, like you just don't know what their like feats are and like what they can do. And so like sometimes I'm just like dead. And I'm like, how did I don't even know how I died. Like I legitimately, I don't get it. And then the first like 10 minutes, I've got 3 hooks. And I'm like, all right, well, adios, everyone.
My problem is when I play by myself, I always seem to be like helping everyone else. Oh, this person's on the hook, I got you. Oh, you need help with this generator, I got you. And then I get hooked. I'll be on like my second hook, and it's time to run out of the gate, and no one's there to save me. They just leave me behind.
Exactly.
Right. I'm like, oh, forget me then. I'm like, geez.
Right. I helped you, and this is the thanks I get.
Right.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? For the next 3 rounds, I'm not helping anyone else.
Right. It's now me and only me.
Right. So, oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna switch it up, and we're gonna see, like, tell me about like some of the highs and lows that you've experienced so far as a streamer.
Oh, girl, where do I even start?
Start with the highs.
Okay, so I will say, like, there are a lot of things about streaming that I, like, starting out was, like, did not think that I was ever going to experience. But for me, like, there are moments in streaming that genuinely make it worth doing what you're doing. Like, I've been lucky to have met so many like amazing people doing streaming and like collaborating with people, but also just like being in people's chats, and it's like being like a recognizable like person and like existing in other people's communities has been like insane. I would say like I got to meet some like really like big streamers, like league streamers at TwitchCon this past year, because that's like the first time I had ever gone. And like meeting them in person and like being in the same room as them, and like also just being surrounded by those people, like really gets you motivated and what makes you like want to just start doing everything possible. I think like something that I didn't think would happen just in like content creation was my TikToks like popping off.
Period.
When I started making like TikTok content, I was very like afraid, because I was like, I hate putting like, it was brand new, so like we're talking like 2021, 2020 or 2022, and I was like, I don't know what the algorithm is like, I don't know what the people like the audience is like, who are my shorts gonna reach and all that kind of stuff. And I think after just like posting a whole bunch of stuff and just like putting feelers out there, I think I had posted a Overwatch TikTok, and I just like, it was just a random like Tuesday or random Wednesday, and like it just was, I was getting notifications. I had to turn my TikTok notifications off because I just kept getting it one after the other, and I was like, what is happening? And so I was like, I would open my app and it was just like so and so and 60 other people just like your, I was like, what's happening? Literally, what is happening? And it was just like a skit. It was just like a little like cute little funny like, I'm gonna play an audio and I'm gonna lip sync to it and it's gonna be great. And literally, I think it amassed me like another like 500 followers, and I was like, what? How does this even happen? And so, like being off of that high is like, okay, now I want to make more. I have ideas. I want to start doing all this stuff. And I think one of my biggest TikToks was like a K-pop and League of Legends, like I think it was idols who play League of Legends, and I just like put a bunch of like B-roll footage of whoever the idol was dancing and then saying who plays the game and whatever. The way that TikTok, I'm still getting notifications from it, like, and I posted that 2 years ago, is insane. Like, I think it has 500,000 likes or something like that.
Ooh, okay.
And I literally was like, this is not real. Like, there's no way this is real.
You went viral.
I did. And like the fact that it happened more than once, like I think I have like 3 other TikToks. I made a one with, it was San from ATEEZ, and about the fan call, where the same person got the fan call 2 times in a row. Oh my god. And I made like a cute little funny like, oh, like one of those like K-pop posts, and that got so much attention. Like I almost had to defend myself in the comments because, you know, K-pop fans. But just like seeing how like the things that you don't expect to blow up and they blow up is actually insane. And there's like some of the stuff is like, I don't know if I want to post this because like it's kind of controversial, or like maybe my opinion is not well known and I think people might dog on me for it. They've always done super well, and so I'm like, just being able to post stuff and just have it like take off is insane. But I think the biggest highs have to be like the community that you build when you do streaming, because I never in like a million years would I have ever thought that people put time aside of like in their day to look you up and watch you play video games and yap about K-pop. Like I did never in a million years would I ever think people would ever want to watch me do that. But I have people that do, and they show up regularly, and I think that's like something that I'm still like in awe of every time it happens. And like being able to be myself around my community and like feel like I'm not being judged or anything like that is a very reassuring thing as a streamer and as a content creator too, because you could post like literally anything and your community rallies behind you and that kind of stuff. But it also is just like a good way to build an online community, but also like know that people support you in what you do. and it just feels really good.
Be able to feel like you can express yourself in any way.
No, absolutely. And I feel like that's the biggest thing about being a streamer is like your authenticity and like how you express yourself is what people, come to see. Like, yeah, you can be great at a video game, but like so are like 200k other people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like it's your personality that really shows that people are like, yeah, I like the way that this person, talks and makes jokes about things, or like I like the way that this person like laughs and stuff like that. It's like super simple things that you wouldn't think are marketable, but people like that, and people like to see your personality show and stuff. And I think that's why like a lot of people like to stick around in my streams, because like I said, I'm not a good League of Legends player. I'm literally bronze, so I'm like there's no way like people are watching me for the gameplay. But yeah, it's just fun just to have a community that's there to watch you and like just support the things that you do.
That's actually really, I can definitely resonate with that, because I always say I'm a big weirdo. If you
Same.
If you want to come into my streams, you're gonna see me say like some weird stuff. You're gonna see me laugh maniacally at like the dumbest things.
Exactly. But that's the best part.
Yeah, I'm just like
right.
You're like, oh my god, you're crazy. I'm like, I know.
Right. It's like sometimes you gotta let the gremlin loose.
Right. Okay, what about like a low?
I think most of my lows come from content creation, like actually making content and stuff, because there's nothing more unmotivating than being really proud of something that you're gonna post and it do like 20 views with like 2 likes, and it's like I worked so hard on that and I really liked it and it was super fun, and I personally like my reel or my short or whatever I did, and it does nothing. And I'm like,
me on TikTok.
Exactly. I'll post something and I'll be like, yeah, this play was super fun and I like thought I was really good. 2 likes, maybe 200 views, and never seen ever again. And so like when you keep pumping out content and it all has the same like turnout, it becomes like, okay, why am I even doing this? And like, who is this reaching? Because obviously it's not reaching the people that I want it to. And so like then you start having to figure out, okay, different kinds of content. Maybe people don't want to see my gameplay. Maybe people want to see more skits, or maybe people maybe I gotta talk something that's not gameplay related, but just like weird stuff that I say on stream. And so like then you start digging and then you start posting that kind of stuff, and it also doesn't do well. So like for me, I hit a lot of slumps after my first year of like regularly putting out content, because I was really pumping out stuff in like 2023, 2022, like late 2022. And like I was seeing results, but me personally, I was getting burnt out way too fast because I was constantly trying to make stuff. And then when you sit back and you watch your streams and you're like, nothing really interesting just happened, or nothing like that really like I would want to watch. Because I feel like a lot of content is like, if you don't like your own content, nope, probably nobody else is going to like it either. And so like, I'm always a big post what you like and what you think is good, but at the same time, like, it's hard because sometimes that's just not the case. But I'm like still in that slump of trying to figure out like what's the balance. Like, do I want to like keep posting or like pumping out content, or do I really want to like take a look at my streams, or take a look at the stuff that I already have, and how can I tweak it or improve it to see what people are vibing with. But it is hard, and I think that's just part of the content creator journey, is like being okay with content not doing well, but also like keeping a head high of like, you can always post more, you can always post something else. Like, there is no oh, this is it for me, I can't do this anymore. Like, just post it and see what happens. But a lot of it does come from like burnout of just seeing the same results on things that you work hard on, and it's like really, really uninspiring. Oh
my goodness. I made like a spam TikTok account, and where I was just yapped. I remember there was this one time where I was just talking about how, oh my god, I got a Crunchwrap Supreme. and it got like 1,000 views, but my regular account cannot get past like 200. Sometimes it gets like way less than that, and I'm like, the Crunchwrap Supreme got love, but I can't get regular love on my regular account.
Right. And like the other things is like you'll post something and it's like not even something that you like it's something like just so like out of the blue, and when that does good, it's like, okay, so y'all don't want to see good editing, y'all don't want to see sound effects on things, you want to see me just not even playing games at all, you want me to just like sit and yap. I was like, I do that on stream.
Exactly.
It's like, come hang out with me on stream then, please.
Have you found, like, is it like easier or harder to like convert your TikTok followers to your Twitch?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's really difficult because TikTok is, it's short form content. Well, you could argue that it's not, because like the length of how long TikToks can be now is like significantly longer than what it used to be. But when I'm on TikTok, I like want to be on TikTok. Like I don't find myself going to other websites or other things, because I feel like it's the more clicking that I have to do, the less I'm likely to like follow you on other things. And like that's coming from me personally. So when I post stuff and I don't see conversion, I'm fine with that, because I understand like where I would be in that situation, where it's like, if my Twitch is not as accessible as possible, people are probably not going to show up. And I think in terms of conversion, like I could literally count on two hands how many people have gone from my TikTok to Twitch, and I think it's only like 3 or 4. And every time I see them, I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, I love them. And like, that's like the other thing too, is it's like anybody that comes into stream, I'm like always like, hey, like you just want to like, you know, welcome them in. So like anytime somebody tells me, oh, I came from TikTok, I'm like, oh, bless your soul, you watch me on other things too. But yeah, I will say the conversion is a lot harder. I do think that people find more success like off of YouTube, like converting their YouTube audience to their Twitch. I don't know what the like science is behind it, or like what causes people to want to follow you on Twitch afterwards, but I'm still trying to figure that one out, because I haven't posted any YouTube content like at all in terms of my streaming, so I might want to dabble into that this year. But in terms of TikTok or like Instagram, like I don't even use my Instagram, which I should probably start doing. But yeah, the conversion is like, that to me is really difficult. And they always say like, post your content on other like socials, and like, you know, the more content you post and the more stuff you put out there, the easier it is for people to find you. But that's a lot of work, and I have still yet to balance that with like my IRL job and like IRL stuff. So like, and plus like for now it's just a hobby, but like I've been seeing exponential growth with it to the point where I could turn it into something, but I'm still lowballing it right now.
I feel like that's another thing that some people don't like take into consideration. The whole like, maybe you're a full-time streamer, but a full-time job is like very draining as well.
Yeah, and like especially like even if you're like part-time working, like I work maybe 35 hours, 36 hours a week, and like when I come home, the thought of opening my computer and like sitting down and watching through my VODs and like clipping things, like the thought of that after an 8-hour shift is just not, it's not in my cards. I'm so tired by the time I get home. And so like I couldn't even imagine like people who have like full 9-to-5 desk jobs and then come back home to like stream, and then after that they edit content. I'm like, how do y'all do it? It's like, it is draining.
I wish I could hire an editor.
Me too. I've like considered
pass
it too.
on to somebody else.
Yeah, I've considered it, but I'm just like, I am not in the financial position to do stuff like that. So I'm like, I gotta learn how to do it myself. And like, I have editing experience because I used to do like my YouTube channel and stuff, but because it's not consistent, I like forget how to use some of the like softwares that I know how to use, especially the ones that I've been using for years and years and years. So I feel like it's like both consistency, but also like that's time you have to commit.
I definitely understand. And then I can edit, but I can't edit like really, really well with like the zooms and all
Yeah,
of that
everybody does
stuff.
like the zooms and then the sound effects and like doing all like the visual effects too and stuff like that. I'm like, y'all are so talented. And like I
Like,
try to learn everything on my own too, like search up YouTube tutorials on how to do stuff and like asking my editor friends like how do you do like the most like basic transition or like the most basic like animation. And like to me it's like rocket science, but to them it's like, oh, you just do a click and a click and a click and a whoosh and it's good. And I'm like, let me have your brain.
help me,
Right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Please.
Have you ever had any days where you felt like being a streamer was like just not for you? And how did you get over that feeling?
So two things come to mind. The first one is like having to deal with your content finding the wrong people and receiving hate comments for that. Like I remember my first set of hate comments were on TikTok and being like, wow, people are kind of mean. Or being live and people popping into your stream and saying some real out of pocket stuff. And it's just like, it puts you in a bad mood. Like when I used to get like negative comments in my stream, I just like would noticeably get like pissed off or I would get upset. And like that's the last thing I would want for somebody to show up into my stream and I'm just like I'm mean essentially, is because I'm just like upset at what just happened and I'm like affected by it. And then on top of that is like having little to no engagement on literally anything you post or do. Like I remember I was streaming for my first year and I think I only averaged like 3 viewers, and it was like my mom, my dad, and like my brother. Like that to me is like, I love the support, but also I'm like, I feel like this isn't gonna go anywhere. And like if it's a hobby, like whatever, but like, you know, there's always that thing in the back of your mind that's like, what if this could be something more? Like what if this could actually be like a career? And so like like I love the support from my family, but it's like you want to see the numbers get bigger. And I think that's also a big thing too, is like when you're focused on the numbers, because at the end of the day, like if you want to be like big content creator, like the numbers do matter. And everybody always tells you like, oh, like don't look at your viewer count, don't do that. But it's like, you know, if you want to get it to go somewhere, like you have to be mindful of like, okay, what am I streaming that like nobody watches versus what am I streaming that like everybody wants to come see me like play and stuff like that. But when you run into those days where it's like, I got 2 people in chat, or best part when I first started was when I had nobody in chat and I was talking to myself the whole stream. Like that to me was just like, yeah, I don't think this is for me, because I'm like, yeah, I yap a lot, but like who am I talking to? Like who am I playing this for? Like nobody is coming in here watching. But I think that's like the glory in streaming, is that you could be streaming to 0 viewers, but all it takes is one person to find you, and then it just like makes you feel like a whole different person. And I think that's the thing that really like kind of got me out of those humps, is it's like when I first started out and having like, you know, such low viewership, when somebody found you and like they stuck with you in chat and they just like kept talking to you for the whole stream, like I could have 0 viewers for every other stream for the rest of the month and I would be okay with that, because somebody found me and like liked what I was doing and had a whole conversation with me in chat. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then like I'm glad that me as a person now, I've been able to like grow in a sense of when people leave hate comments, like people are going to say literally anything, and like whether it's nice or like awful, like you are putting yourself out there. Like that's just how content creation is. Like you are the entertainment, so inevitably you will get some like pretty awful people. But like once you're like self-aware and or like when you're like confident in yourself and like who you are, you're like literally unstoppable. Like I look at every hate comment that I get and I'm just like, literally not commenting on this would hurt me more than putting a hate comment on here, because you're actually engaging with my stuff and pushing things through an algorithm. So like thank you for the free engagement, So, like, to me, like, now when I get hate comments, I'm like, whatever. Like, you are pushing my content out. You can say whatever you want. And, like, even when people come into, like, stream and they say, like, out-of-pocket stuff, I just hand it right back. Because, like, you're in my stream. Like, what are you trying to prove here? And so, like, I've even gotten to do stuff, like, in my Discord, I have a section called The Comments. And I screenshot like hate comments that I think are like either funny or like just like real out of pocket stuff, and I'll like screenshot it and post it in there to be like, yeah, this is your typical day in content creation where someone's gonna say some real out of pocket shit, and like there it is, public for people to view. So it's my wall of shame is what I call it.
What's been like the funniest comment that was kind of like out of pocket that you got?
Honestly, I think I can find it because I think I posted it. It is, let's see here. Oh, well, it wasn't like weird. No, it wasn't like funny per se, but it was weird in the sense that like I don't think he understood my humor because so I ran into him on Tekken, and like he was a streamer too because he had TTV in the name, which like if you're gonna put TTV in your name, bold. Because I'm gonna look you up for sure. And so I was just like making a joke. I was just like, ooh, TTV, y'all think they're a streamer? And like he screen recorded my stream and talked about how I like was like, oh, he thinks he's all blah 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 because he's a streamer. And I was just like, no, I literally was just saying, haha, you have TTV, you're a streamer probably. And like he like screen recorded it and posted it to his TikTok and made a whole TikTok about me, and I was like, okay, big fan.
You had beef.
Right. I was like, I had beef that I didn't even know I started. I was just like, this is so crazy. But I think like the funnier stuff is like when I would post my League of Legends like gameplay and like my bronze level gameplay. Clearly I'm like absolute god at this game. Somebody commented and they put, looks like it took a lot of skill, huh? And my response was, it did. Thank you for recognizing my challenger level gaming. And so I'm like, I always will like clap back. I'll hand up the energy back. And somebody was like, somebody commented on my other TikTok and was like, bro, are you gay or what? What is wrong with you? And I said, well, I do love me some exotic snakes. So like there's so many like things that like personality wise I've been able to like really hone in and just be like, sometimes you just gotta hand the same energy back. Like if they're gonna say some real out of pocket stuff, it's time for you to say some out of pocket stuff. But it also makes for good content too, because when people see it, it's like, wait, that creator is funny.
I think it's the funniest when like you say the out of pocket stuff and then that person's like, you know what? I'm gonna follow you because of that.
Right, yes. And like I don't think that people realize that the comment section is also content. So like whenever I like look at TikToks, like when I first started getting into TikToks, I was like, sometimes the comments are funnier than the TikTok. Like always when they're like engage with your comments, I'm just like, I don't know if you want to see me engage with my content, my comments, but you can go check them out.
Okay, so outside of gaming and streaming, what are like some hobbies that you have that you do in your free time?
So hobbies wise, like besides the K-pop, because that's like most people know that about me, because I'm like a big K-pop person. But outside of that, I'm a casual women's wrestling fan. And a lot of people don't know that about me because they're like, when I say wrestling, they're like, oh, you like it for the men, right? Because I'm gay, obviously. But I'm like, no. I was like, I mean, I don't mind watching it, but for some reason, women's wrestling has always been significantly more interesting to me, like storyline-wise, like history-wise, like I don't know what it is, but watching the women in that like space is kind of empowering, but also like I just love seeing a strong woman like kick ass. Like there's just like
Ripley.
Okay. Well, I have feelings about Rhea Ripley, but
Oh.
I will seek that. But I think one of my biggest inspirations comes from women's wrestling. AJ Lee was a 3-time Divas champion, and she literally changed the women's wrestling, like the women's division, just entirely. Like, she got people to care about women's wrestling.
It's my favorite wrestler.
Me too. But she got people to care about women's wrestling, and also like did it while battling mental illness. Like, to me, that is insane. And also, she's a nerd. Like, she games, she loves comics, like she writes comics and stuff. Like, what literally, like, it's hard not to like her.
Right.
But she's what got me into women's wrestling just in general. And like, the day that she comes back is going to be like the day that I just start sobbing. Like, the other day I just found I found one of my AJ Lee shirts, and I was like, had no idea, thought I lost it, and like I was cleaning out my room and I was like, oh my god, I love you. Something that a lot of people also don't know about me is that I used to be a dancer. I did it like pretty much my entire life. Like, I started when I was like 9 and didn't stop until I was like 22 or something like that. But I did mostly hip hop. But when I got into high school, I did like ballet, jazz, contemporary. And then in college, I did like anything under the sun that you could think of in dance. I did it. So much so that I actually have a minor in dance on my diploma, because I like took classes for it and stuff. One of my pieces in college actually got featured at the opening of our art center, and it was like a black tie event. Like, there were like investors, there were like big like known people in our like city, and I was like, me, my dance was like my like K-pop but not K-pop dance, because I did, the music that I chose was Freeze by Momoland. And like nobody knew K-pop, like nobody knew it like they know it now. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this like K-pop style dance. I had to choreograph everything myself, and like they loved it, they ate that up, and I was like, thank you. It was just so strange.
So what I'm hearing is that you're a main dancer.
Perhaps.
Oh.
Perhaps. No. But I've also recently gotten into perfume collecting, which is like a very expensive hobby. I mean, you can see. Oh no, actually, you can't. Can I show it? I mean, all of that is all there.
Okay.
But I've been really into that lately. I've always been into it, like even as a kid. I just like the way that I just like to smell good. You know, I want to smell like a flower garden.
Yes.
And then if I had like money, like significantly more money, I would continue building keyboards. I find keyboard building so fun, and I think it's like Legos, but very expensive Legos, and like significantly more customization options, and you can make it look cute. So like,
I love a cute keyboard.
Right? But yeah,
I didn't build mine, but
the big hobby obviously is K-pop.
Yeah. The most expensive hobby.
Literally, me, it's actually like I've calmed down a little bit now. When I first got into it, it was like, I need every version, I need every like merch, I need every like everything. Now I'm just like, if it's not red velvet, I probably won't buy it, but I'll look at it and think it's real pretty.
Oh, okay. So since we're already talking about K-pop, let's get into the K-pop sphere.
Here we go.
How did you, for those who don't know, how did you get into K-pop?
So, it was a really long time ago. My first introduction to K-pop was in 2008 with the Wonder Girls. I think they were on tour. They were on tour with the Jonas Brothers. And
interesting mix-up.
I only found them through them, and I was like, it's such a strange thing to combine, but I was like, whatever. But they were also on like a Nickelodeon show at some point, but that was like later on to the career. But when I really got into it was 2010. Somebody that I had gone to summer school with had posted on a Facebook wall, when we used to call it walls and not timelines. They posted on their Facebook wall, and it was Girls' Generation's Hoot. And I was like, I was like, what is this? I was like, it says MV, so I'm assuming that means a music video. So I clicked on it and I watched it, and I was like immediately like in love. I was like, wait, this is pop music, but I'm like, the outfits, the concept. It was like the video. I was like the choreography. I was like, everything is just so like particular. I love it. And so I remember downloading that song, and then going to school like a couple days later, and when we had iPods, I had my iPod on my desk, and my friend, she was born and raised in Korea, and she saw my phone, or she saw my iPod, and she was like, wait, you listen to Girls' Generation? And I was just like, well, I just found this song like a couple days ago. And she was like, I love them. And so like from then on, it was like K-pop was the thing, and I was hardcore into it. Like I was ready to watch all the music shows. I was watching like the award shows. I was watching the dance practices. I was watching all, like, I was invested. But this was the time of when you were bullied if you liked K-pop. Like this was like, K-pop is weird. K-pop is like, you're strange. Versus like now, you'd be like, oh, I'm into K-pop. And you're like, oh, that's cool. No, you were like, this was the thing you hid from people.
Kind of like anime.
Right. I was like, this was also like the time when anime was like, you know, you don't talk about you liking anime, versus now everyone's like, oh, which one are you watching? Like, it's just such a 180 nowadays. But yeah, no, I like, Girls' Generation is what really set the tone for me.
Okay, so was Girls' Generation like your first, like your favorite when you first got into it? Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was like, I remember the first question that my friend had asked me when she found out I was a Girls' Generation fan. She was like, so who's your favorite member? And I was like, looking back at it now, I was just like, oh man, the biases were already a thing, like way before we had a name for what it was. But yeah, Girls' Generation was like top tier for me.
So compared to your very first like group that you fell in love with versus now, which I'm assuming is Red Velvet.
Yes.
How would you say like they differ from you being a fan in the beginning to you being a fan now?
I would say I think it's hilarious because back then it was Girls' Generation and now it's Red Velvet. So I very clearly have something with SM girl groups because I also like aespa, and I also liked FX, which justice for FX because they had bangers, but SM just doesn't acknowledge them. But I think the, like, actually liking the groups, I think it's the same thing. Like the choreography, the music, like for me, Girls' Generation back then when I was a big Soan was like pink. Their main color was pink. I'm obsessed. Now Red Velvet, Irene is my favorite member. What's her main color? Pink. So it's like there's a lot of similarities, and like the groups both have vocals, they both have like choreography that's like iconic. Like I feel like a lot of it is parallels, and I like there's the same things that I enjoyed about K-pop back then are the same things I enjoy about it now, because I think Red Velvet kind of has like that playful sound where it's like they have something different and have something for everybody, versus like Girls' Generation's music was very poppy, but it was also like very girly, which like obviously they're Girls' Generation, but I think just the presence, the stage presence, the vocals, the production, and just like being under SM, like I'm sure like SM just does not like their girl groups at all, because in a world of men in that company, there's like this many girl groups are just women, and I think they do their jobs just so well, and like they're the way that they carry themselves is just like very similar. So I think it's like a lot of like a close to home kind of thing. But I find that like my taste hasn't changed as much as I would like to say that it has.
Okay. And when you said that, I was thinking about the fact that they only have 4. Well, now I guess if they're gonna have 5 girl groups now, versus how many boy groups?
Well, I would say they have a lot of boy groups, but a lot of it is just factions of NCT.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Because when I really think about it, I'm just like, sure, they have a lot of men, but like 50% of the men are NCT, and then the other 50% is like the six other boy groups that they have.
Yeah.
Versus like the girl group side, it's really just aespa, Red Velvet, Girls' Generation, kind of active. And then their new group that's coming out, I think this next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think they're Hearts to Heart.
Hearts to Hearts or something like that. I saw a tweet yesterday or last night that said, so does this mean we get to call the like antis of Hearts to Hearts? Can we call them farts to farts? And I was like,
my
please. I was like, oh my god, y'all are so childish. But like, I'm here for it.
They're K-pop Twitter is
that is its own beast. That is its own beast.
Sometimes I think TikTok K-pop stands are crazy, but
right. I'm like,
Twitter's
have y'all
been around way
seen,
longer.
Right. Have y'all seen the K-pop Twitter? Like, I just don't engage. I see stuff and I'm like, I have words that I'd like to say, but for my own sake, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna scroll past it.
How do you feel that the genre of K-pop has changed from like when you first got into it versus now?
It is so different now. I think
And has it changed for the better or the worse?
Depends on who you ask. Me personally, I think it's changed for the worse. But in my opinion, I think K-pop nowadays is more catered towards the Western audience rather than them defining the genre for itself. Because, like, the music nowadays sounds like a lot more swallowable than what it used to be. Like, if I were to show you Big Bang Fantastic Baby in 2012, you'd look at me like I was crazy. And then if I showed it to you now, you'd probably still look at me like I was crazy. But if I were to show you, I don't know, Bad Boy by Red Velvet, and if I showed that to you in 2012, people would have been like, yeah, no, this is great. And I'm like, it's just like the sound of what K-pop is now is definitely more like for Western validation, which I think kind of makes it lose its essence of what makes K-pop K-pop, but is also good for like the group, I guess, because it's like, you know, it gets them noticed, it gets them more traffic because more people are interested in their music because it sounds like something that like a Western audience is more familiar with. But I miss like the old K-pop sounds. Like I'm talking like the 2010 stuff, the 2011 stuff, like OG 21. Like I'm talking like Sistar's music back in like 2011, like stuff that was like fun and it was different and the choreography wasn't so hard, but it was like just fun to watch. Versus like nowadays, I feel like K-pop choreographies are all dance competitions, and then like with some vocals. But I think just K-pop in and of itself has kind of lost its art in a sense of its original form. If that makes any sense.
Definitely. I feel like I like some of the songs that some of the groups come out with nowadays, but I feel like I will always be a third gen fan.
Same.
It's just, I don't know, there's something in the air with the third generation of K-pop.
I think like third gen was in a realm of like they have essence of like second gen style, but have adapted to like, you know, the Western validation and the Western like sound. So like they have a good mix. Like I think of Twice immediately because of how like their music has really changed throughout the like as time has gone on in the 10 years, well almost 10 years that they've been a group. Like if you showed me like Ooh and you just made me listen to it and like I had to guess who it was, I would not have thought it was by Twice. Same with like Cheer Up. I'd be like, oh, this is like some like some like brand new girl group and like, no, this is Twice, I'd be like, oh, because their music, like, you're telling me that the same group that sings Fancy, the same group that does Feel Special, the same group that does The Feels is the same group that did Ooh Ah, Signal, TT, like, very strange. Like, those are two different vibes. And I can say the same thing for like a lot of groups too, because like early GOT7 was like very second gen inspired, and then like as time went on, like of course their sound adapted. So I think third gen kind of had the was like the last set of groups that had the real K-pop genre. Like they've had it the best, I think, because they were able to take one of the best parts of K-pop and fuse it with like the future.
I also feel like just like the interactions with like the idols was just like so organic, and it made me want to, like, say I was a fan of GOT7 and then they started interacting with like Twice, and I didn't like know anything about Twice. I was like, oh, maybe I should go like check out them and check out their music.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, most of these idols don't even want to like be anywhere close to the opposite sex.
And I think it's like just
that.
it's mostly because of like the just the toxic like fans that are like, you know, they can't be near each other because they're afraid of a dating scandal, or they're afraid of like being seen in a bad light. It's like, first of all, why do we care? That's their personal life. Let it be. But also, like, you're telling me that these people cannot be just like platonic friends? Like,
doesn't
what do you
exist.
mean? Right. I was like, what do you mean these K-pop groups literally have to be in their own space, in their own bubble of just their group, and they cannot have friends? Like, what a concept.
But they're trying to bring back, what is it? What's that show about We Got Married?
Wait, they're bringing that back?
I keep hearing that they're bringing that back, so I do
God.
not know how that's gonna work.
Oh, God.
Because I remember Taemin and Nayeon,
Yes.
and how horrible she got treated.
Yes. I was like, oh my God.
I
Oh
don't
no.
know how that's gonna work.
If they do bring that back, it has to be like a third gen group. There's no way they can do that with like any of the newer people.
Because I'm just imagining like Yeonjun and Winter, We Got Married, and it's just.
I'm just like, oh my God, those fans are going to
Pitchforks.
be at each other's necks.
They're gonna have to do it in like some rural area of Korea or something,
Or they'll
or
have
in
to be
another
like,
country.
It would have to be like people that like, there's no way that they would have any sort of connection like whatsoever, because if they're even remotely in the same business, oh God, it's gonna go so bad.
I will dabble in watching it, but I'm just afraid for that.
I'm just afraid of the backlash.
It's like you could try. I'll watch it, but I'm like,
This is the have we learned nothing?
We've learned nothing.
Have we learned nothing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what were like your top 5 favorite releases from 2024?
Top 5 favorite releases. Okay, we'll go with the easiest one, Cosmic by Red Velvet. Such a good way to ring in their 10-year anniversary. Like, the song itself. What's been really funny lately is that every Red Velvet comeback in the last 2 years, everyone has deemed the disbandment track.
Oh my God.
Like, they said it with Feel My Rhythm, they said it with Birthday, they said it with Chill Kill, they said it with Cosmic. But that just goes to show that, like, the music is so good that it's just like, oh, it's like a culmination. I'm just like, yes, and it always will be because it's so good.
Why are you guys trying to disband them so bad?
Right, like, can y'all chill?
I mean, but SM doesn't like disband their group, so I don't know why they're so afraid of that.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, if the group is on good terms, it's like all like with each other, like 95% of the time they'll probably still stick together. Like, I'm surprised Girls' Generation is still rocking it. Like, after the whole Jessica thing, like, I'm still surprised that they still do stuff as 8 members. Like, props to y'all. But like, they haven't even like officially disbanded FX either. So like,
It's just,
I have no idea.
nobody's like in the group.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's like, like even said anything like, yeah, we're still a part of a group. Like, nobody talks about it, which is already like hilarious. I would say like second most favorite is also a no-brainer. Like a Flower, Irene's solo debut. I have been waiting for this moment for so long, and I literally was like, it's gonna happen. It has to happen. And I like had a feeling it was gonna happen because in 2023, her solo birthday concert or her fan concert, she performed a solo song, and I said, "Is this where I get the Irene solo? Is this when it's happening?" And then I had to wait another year because the year after that, which was last year, she had her birthday thing in March, and she performed another solo song, and I was like, "Okay, so where is it?" And then I saw a tweet that was just like, Irene is scheduled to have her solo debut at the end of this year. I said, now you're going to make me wait till the end of the year? She literally egged me on. So I had high expectations, and I was not let down. I was so happy with like the vibe she went with. I'm like impressed by the entire album because I was not expecting to like the whole album. Because like normally I'm like, I'll like the title track and maybe like a B-side or two. But I've been trying to listen to like if I find a song that I like, I've been trying to listen to the whole album because who knows, maybe I might find something that I like. And like when the album was over, I was like, that's the end? There has to be more, right? And I was just like, yeah, no, this if I'm thinking that in an album, I'm sold. So I was very, very impressed. And like the reception that Irene's gotten for it was just like, it warmed a part of my soul because I always knew she could sing and I always knew she could dance, but nobody else believed me that she could sing and dance. And so her being able to pull out the choreography that she does and have good solo songs, I was just like, oh, I've been validated.
Were the songs at least, were they over 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank God.
Because speaking of songs that were not over 2 minutes, but songs that I liked, Cat's Eye, Debut, and Touch. I literally, like, the songs are so good. If they were longer, they would have been better. Mm-hmm. But Debut was my third most played song this year, which, like, I guess, or this past year, which I guess, like, you kind of cheat your way into it because it's only a 2-minute song. But the amount of times that I, like, go back to, like, listening to it was a lot. And I also kind of have, like, a close to home kind of thing with Cat's Eye because one of the members, Megan, she is actually from Hawaii. And I was born and raised in Hawaii. And so, like, she kind of has, like, that local girl, like, vibe to her. Like, whenever she talks about, like, personal stuff, she does mention Hawaii a lot. And, like, I will root hard for anybody, like, even kind of associated with Hawaii, because I like to see local representation.
Yes.
But that's the same thing how I feel about Julie from Kiss of Life. She's also from Hawaii.
I love Kiss of Life. Right?
They had such an amazing year. So good. Midas Touch. Most played song this year. Or this past year. Literally, it was my number one. Like, it gave Britney Spears, it gave early 2000s, it gave everything it needed to give. Choreography was great. Song was great. Music video was phenomenal. Like, those girls are on to something. They're gonna go places. I feel it in my bones. And then, obviously, have to talk about aespa. They've had such an insane 2024. Like, from Supernova to freaking Armageddon to Whiplash, like, I was gagged. All three comebacks, gagged. There was nothing that I could have expected more from them, and they just blew me away every single time. So, like, they officially do take the win for me for 2024, because, like, you could not go anywhere without hearing any of those, like, 1 or 3 songs. Like, literally, like, hello? You could not go anywhere without hearing Supernova, Armageddon, or Whiplash the whole second half of the year.
The songs are just, like, so catchy.
They
especially
are.
Like the dance moves too.
Right?
Like, I keep seeing people doing the whiplash dance.
Right?
Oh my goodness. I'm like, yes. Let me see. I have Igloo on repeat. I just love that song so much.
It's so like, I'm better than you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe that Igloo gives, and it's just like, yes. You are actually.
And I randomly heard it on like TikTok. And I was like, the dance moves is what got me, and then I was like, oh, this
part so good. Yeah.
Like, oh.
I was like, you better stick that tongue out. It's so good.
Are there any upcoming releases that you're excited for?
Yes. I've finally having a comeback after like what? I think it was like 6 months or something like that. I was like, I can only Hey-Ya for so long. I'm sorry.
They didn't release anything in like the second half of the year, did they?
No. Because I think they were on tour.
Actually weird. Oh.
Yeah, I think they were on tour. But I think they just released something today, actually. I think Rebel Heart came out today. I don't know if that's true, but... Oh, it did come out today. But I think that's just the pre-release single. K-pop artists doing their pre-releases these days, I'm not a big fan of them. But yes, I'm really excited for an IVE comeback because, like, I think out of all of the more recent, like, 5th gen groups, IVE has been pretty consistent with good songs. Like, I don't think there's one that I don't necessarily enjoy. Like, they do really well in all their stuff. Silky is having her second mini album releasing this year too, which, like, if you're gonna start a song with "I Kiss Your Brother," like, okay, I should be expecting more sassiness and more
my brother.
Right? No, literally, like, you're gonna open your debut song with "I Kiss Your Brother," like, okay. But yeah, her album was also really good, which I was very impressed. I mean, it's the second, like, vocalist in Red Velvet, so, like, I kind of assumed she was gonna eat. But I'm curious to see what her next album's gonna sound like, because Wendy's, in comparison to Wendy's first and second album, very different vibes, very different. So I'm curious to see what she's gonna do. And then I know Cat's Eye is having a comeback because Manon literally spoiled it, because she was like, God. She literally was like, I think that this next song is really good, I'm just gonna say. And I was like, and if it's coming from her, I trust her. I love her. Right? She's so iconic.
So chaotic.
She is so iconic. Like, not only is she, like, gorgeous, but she's also so funny.
No filter whatsoever.
Right. She just says stuff and she's like, oh wait, I probably shouldn't say that.
Honestly, the whole group is just iconic. Because I remember seeing TikTok videos of Laura reading fanfic. I was like,
I remember that.
And she was like, I don't think I should be reading this.
I just saw a recent thing on Twitter that Laura was playing Dress to Impress. And she was posting her fits in Weverse, and she was like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what's been going on, but my fits lately have not been giving. And I was just like, Laura, you icon.
I cannot. Those girls, I think HYBE did a really good job of, like, yes, they gave them, like, the K-pop training, but they're letting them be, like, Americanized. So it's giving more, like, relatability and all of that.
They feel more like a girl group, like a Western girl group. Like, I think that's, like, the vibe that I get from them, and I'm very happy that HYBE is letting them just do their thing.
And it's just, I just know Yoonchae is just like, what in the world is wrong with these girls?
Sometimes I feel bad for Yoonchae, because Yoonchae's probably there like, what did I get myself into?
She's like culture shock to the max.
But she's assimilated so well. Like, you know that she gets it. And I'm also, like, super impressed that her English has gotten so good. But also it's like immersion. Like, you're around people who speak English, like, you're gonna pick up on it pretty fast.
For sure. It's those girls,
they're so funny.
I think Manon is probably the most chaotic though.
Yeah, like, Danny is loud, but, like, Danny's funny, but like when you put Danny and Mano in the same room together,
it's over. It is over. Oh my goodness. Okay, getting back into streaming aspects, do you have any like plans or like goals that you want to reach in the next 5 years?
Let's see. I think something that I really want to work on this year, like this year in particular, is I really want to get to 1K on Twitch. I tried to do that this year, but it just was like, I just had so many things going on, and it just was not the vibe. But I really want to, that's like my biggest goal this year is to hit 1K. And I think it's possible. It's very possible. Because I checked my 2024 recap, you know, that thing that's like their version of Spotify Wrapped. And I over doubled my following from 2023 into 2024, which I did not think I did. I thought I only like got maybe 100 more. I didn't realize I amassed over like 200 something follows in a year, which is wild. And so like everybody that I've been talking to, I was like, no, I think I can do it this year. I really genuinely think I can. So I've been planning a bunch of like collabs. I've been like documenting stuff of things that I want to do. Like I'm very forward this year. I'm only thinking forward.
Got them goals.
Right. But I think in the next 5 years, like I think one thing that I really want to do is like do some kind of partnership with like a big gaming company, whether that's like Riot, whether that's Nintendo, just like anything. It could be like for a new game that they're releasing, or like being a part of like a content creator tournament that's like hosted by like a bigger like gaming company of some kind, or like being reached out to like fly myself out somewhere to like, you know, get first hand like never before seen stuff, like exclusive experiences, and like doing like bigger like IRL events would be super cool. I don't like ever expect to be like Pokimane big. I don't mean to be like Saikuno big or like Shoto big or anything like that. But like I'd want to be able to be a big enough creator to a point where I can like give back to my community in larger scale ways. Because I always say like I am nothing without my community, and so like I would like to do something for people who have supported me in the journey. And so like if I were ever to, you know, be that big of a streamer in the next 5 years, which again is also very possible if I work hard at it.
For sure.
I think the first thing I would do is pay off my student loans, because my parents would always say, put yourself first. And that's like the one thing that like looms over my head. And then the next thing would to be like pay whatever like outstanding bills I have for like anything. And then I would help my parents pay off either their mortgage or pay off whatever like outstanding stuff that they have. Because there has never been any bigger supporter than my parents. And I am eternally grateful to have like parents who support you or support me in like everything that I've done. Like no matter what the endeavor was, they have always been supportive, and they have always been there for me when I needed it. I remember when I first started making YouTube videos, like I told them like, yeah, this is something that I want to start doing. Like my dad was like, so for your birthday, would you mind, like, do you want us to buy you this like video editing software? And to this day, I still use it. And so like they were always very like, you know, if it's something you want to do and it's something you love, do it. Because like my mom always tells me that the one thing that she regrets is not doing something that she loved, and like being, you know, kind of feeling like you have to work a 9 to 5, or you have to like get a really good paying job. Like she's like, you can just get a job that pays the bills, that supports you, and you can still do your content creation. She's like, I just want you to be able to do something that's fulfilling to you, do something that's, you know, like something that you want to do. So like giving back to them would be literally everything. That's like a literal no-brainer for me. And if I were able to do that in the next 5 years, that would be absolutely insane. But yeah, I'd want to do like big scale projects. I'd want to be one of those like featured creators and stuff. Like people know me for certain things, and like if I were ever to like walk by like somebody, be like, "Wait, you're Daxximusss, right?" I'd be like, "Yes." You know what I mean? I'd be like, and I would be one of those celebrities that's just like, yeah, like talk to them like I've known you for like years. You know what I mean? It's like I'd love that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would really like to do some larger scale projects.
I love when parents like encourage their kids to like follow their dreams and their goals, because it just makes it like all the more wild. And like once you actually reach that goal, it's just like you just want to cry. You're like, my parents helped me through all of this.
I'm such a crybaby. Like anything, like I know that the day that comes, I'm literally gonna be like sobbing, and my parents are gonna be like, "Why are you crying?" And I'd be like, "Because I'm finally able to give back to you guys."
You guys are gonna have like a big cry session.
Oh, it might just be a big cry session, but I might be the only one crying, because that's just kind of how things roll.
But I mean, it just means that like you finally did something that you could like really show that, hey, I finally was able to do this.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just it's okay.
BRB crying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What advice would you give to someone that is just starting out streaming or wants to start streaming today?
Go live. Literally just go live. When I always say that I was like, oh, I wonder what it would like to be a streamer, or like I wonder, like I don't know if I would like it or not. I don't know if I would do it. Literally just go live. And like my brother used to tell me, he was just like, I think you would do really good as a streamer, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, growing up you would always talk to yourself when you would play games, like you would like invest yourself in it. And he was like, literally streaming is the same thing. You just commentate what you're playing, and there it is. And so I was like, okay. So I literally just turned on the camera, and I said, hello everybody, and that was it. It is definitely like a learning experience, because you know you're live, so it's not like you can edit anything, and it's not like you can go back and do something to like fix something. So you do kind of have to carry yourself in a sense of like, I could slip up and something might go wrong. I might say something that's wrong. So you do kind of have to like pilot yourself a little bit differently. But like, if you want to start doing it, just do it. And like, if you find out that you know, enjoy doing it, then you can build it into something more. And if you don't like it, then hey, at least you tried. I would say that if you're doing it to like make a career out of it, I wouldn't say streaming is the way to do content creation. Like to start, I would probably like, you know, post some TikToks maybe, or I guess it would be reels and shorts now, because RIP TikTok. But
don't remind me. Oh my god.
But streaming is different in a sense of like, especially on Twitch, because Twitch's discoverability, no matter how much they try to, you know, make it easier to find people, it's still not great. So if you want to make a career, I would say like first learn how to edit videos, research how to like follow social media trends and do it like quickly, so that you can, you know, stay on top of stuff, so that your stuff stays relevant. And then also just post things on as many content like platforms as possible, because like, who knows, somebody might just show up and be like, oh my god, I found you on Tumblr, and be like, people still use that? Or like, I found you on Instagram when I was scrolling through like other people's like Animal Crossing videos, and I found you. So it's like, you never know where your audience is going to come from. So like, just post stuff. I still struggle in a lot of these aspects too, so it's not like I'm like some kind of god and like all knowing. So like it's a learning process for like all of us in content creation, and streaming and all that. But from a more personal standpoint, I would say just be yourself. Like I said before, it takes a lot of self-confidence and self-awareness, like knowing who you are and putting yourself out there, especially in real time, because like there are people who like, you know, their personalities come out, and then that's when you start seeing the twitlongers about like, this person said this slur on this stream. So like be very like careful about what you say, but also like you can still be yourself while being mindful of the things that you're saying, and like mindful of, you know, what you're putting out there on the internet. The day I became self-aware is the day that like streaming and posting content like legit got easier, like because you just care less about what people think. And like, while it's easier said than done, if I can do it, I'm sure anyone can do it. Because like, I've been bullied like pretty much all throughout like school when I was like growing up. And so you would think that like putting yourself out there as somebody who's been through that kind of stuff is like, why would you do that to yourself? But like, look at where I am now. Like, I have a literal wall of shame of hate comments, and I look at it and laugh because I think it's hilarious. And like, it doesn't bother me. Right. I was like, it doesn't bother me at all. And like, I am proud of where I've gotten, because putting myself out there and like being judged and being ridiculed for that kind of stuff, it's just like, people are going to say what they want to say. And like, I don't care. You don't like my content, don't watch it. You know what I mean? So like, just being able to have, you know, a good sense of self and like just enjoy what you're doing and not really care about, you know, what people say. It is significant. It is a significantly better time being in the content creation space, and like, you know, you don't have to feel like you have to pretend to be a character on stream, because that gets tiring, that gets exhausting. And like, to some people that works, like great for them. But if you're just starting out, like, just be yourself, and like, people will gravitate towards your energy. And like, people don't like you, but if people do like you, they'll follow, they'll sit and chat, they'll talk with you. Hey, you might even play some games with them too. So it's like, you never know. But I will say that if you can carry yourself with confidence, and you can carry yourself with, you know, loving who you are and being self-aware of like just your presence, your being, it'll be easy.
I think one of the biggest like problems that some of the people have is just like hitting the go live button. They're just like, I don't know, like I don't know what to do. I'm like, telling them it doesn't matter if you're like on console, if you have a setup, whatever, just press the button, just do it.
I remember like, before I even like started doing like Twitch, like streaming and being like, you know, making my graphics and all that and having my overlays and stuff, I would go on Twitch back in 2017 and I would go live from my Xbox. No camera, no microphone or anything. It was literally just my screen. And it was just me playing Overwatch. And like, sure, nobody was watching, but like, you get the experience of going live. You get the experience of like, you know, you'll get a random chatter and be like, who the hell is this? I mean, like, I don't even know what to say back. And like, sometimes you can't even say anything back because like, you're just playing the game on your console. And sometimes you don't have to say anything back. But yeah, I do agree that the big thing that I think a lot of people like are afraid of is to just go live. And like, honestly, sometimes I'm in the same position and I've been doing it for like 3 years. Like, I want to hit go live. Right. I'm like, do I really want to subject myself to this today, or do I like want to chill? No, once I press live, I know the feelings just go away, because then I'm just focused on whatever I'm doing. So yeah, I do agree that it's like, just go live. I promise it's not as scary as it looks.
I feel like the Shia LaBeouf gif.
Do it.
Just do it.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, and it's like, you think we're joking, but like, we're both streamers, we're both creators. Like, you just gotta do it. That's the easiest way to explain it. You just have to do it.
It'll be awkward in the beginning, but...
Oh, trust me, it is so awkward in the beginning, because, like, you don't know how to talk to people, you don't know how to address people, you don't know how to, like, carry conversations while like mid hard focusing in a game. Like, I remember my first time trying to play a Summoner's Rift game on League of Legends while also talking to chat. I was like dying left and right, and I was like, sorry, I'm like really distracted, but like I'm also like really into this conversation right now, so like I might be like totally feeding right now, but who cares?
But I feel like it's more fun talking to people than sometimes it's more fun than talking than like actually playing the game.
Yeah.
Where you just like pause the game, you're just like, let's yap real quick.
Right. Yeah, I'll have some like moments in my stream where like somebody will bring up a really good like talking point, and I'm like, hold on, wait, I'm not focusing. Can we stop the conversation for like 2 seconds? It's like I want to join, but I'm so focused, but also like I love what's happening right now.
Exactly. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to play a fun little game with you.
Okay.
I played this on my first episode. It's Kiss, Marry, Kill, but it's K-pop Song Edition.
Oh, God.
And since you love Red Velvet, it's going to be Red Velvet. So I'm looking at the Apple Music and like their top songs. So we're just going to go from that.
Okay.
So the first 3 are Cosmic, Russian Roulette, and Psycho.
Ooh, okay. Kill Psycho.
Immediately.
Marry Cosmic, kiss Russian Roulette.
Okay.
I
Is
just
there
think
a reason why you're murdering Psycho?
So, don't get me wrong, I think Psycho is a beautiful song. I do not like that SM decided to take the orchestral parts of the song out of the album versions. So like all of the streaming versions of the song. But if you listen to the music video, like the violins and stuff are all in the track. Mm-hmm. And that to me like just took away the aura of what the song was originally supposed to be. And I remember seeing an article about it, about like how they purposefully did it because they thought it was like too much. And I was like, well, that's where you're wrong. That's where you just ruined it for me. But nonetheless, the song was great. Literally one of their most iconic songs. But I also think it's overplayed, in my personal opinion. I think it's overdone. And like everybody is always like, the first thing they think about with Red Velvet is it's either Psycho or Bad Boy. And I'm like, they have more songs than that, I promise. And they're really good too, but just listen to them.
I thought you were gonna say they think of the ongoing meme sound that they use for Psycho.
Oh my god, that too. That too. But I mean, like, that's like funny. Like, I get it. Like, I love that, that became a meme.
Right.
And honestly, like, to me, that meme never got old, because every time I saw it, I was like, yeah, same.
All right, the next 3 are Bad Boy, Feel the Rhythm, and Peekaboo.
Oh. Bad Boy, Feel My Rhythm, Peekaboo. Okay. Marry, Feel My Rhythm. Kiss, Bad Boy, Kill Peekaboo. That hurts my soul a little bit, but...
Okay.
I have to marry Feel My Rhythm.
Okay.
The second that the chord progression or the key change hits at the last chorus, like, in tears. Literally in tears. Okay. So, Chill Kill, Queendom, and Dum Dum. Okay, well, Kill Dum Dum. I love Dum Dum as a song, but I became a ReVeluv during the Dum Dum era, and like I just remember them performing that song over and over and over again, because their next comeback, which was my first comeback, was One of These Nights, and like you can only perform One of These Nights so many times because it's a ballad. And it was the title track. So, like, of course, when they needed to perform something dancey, it had to be either Ice Cream Cake or Dum Dum. And so, like, every award show performance was Dum Dum. Every, like, music festival performance was Dum Dum. And I was like, the song is so good, but it's just, for me, it was just overplayed.
Overplayed?
Yeah. I would kiss Queendom and I would marry Chill Kill.
Oh, I do love Chill Kill.
It's so good. And it's like, it's such like it's a strange song because it's creepy, but the choruses are all like bright and very like cheerful, which is like really strange because like Red Velvet does do like the creepy thing very well, but the way that the song is made is it's like all this dark, creepy, scary stuff, and then the chorus being like the little like bright shining light. Like they just like it brings the whole thing together, and like the artistry in that alone sold.
All right, and the last one, Cosmic, Feel My Rhythm, or Chill Kill.
I knew that was gonna happen. But I will say I'm also glad you didn't put Power Up in there because I would have had some words. Okay. Cosmic, Feel My Rhythm, Chill Kill. I would marry Cosmic. I would kiss Feel My Rhythm, and I would kill Chill Kill. I think like Cosmic to me, like it has like a, you know, like how they're calling Red Velvet the disbandment group because like every song is a disbandment song. Cosmic is like it's what I would consider a peaceful disbandment song because it's like very uplifting. It's also very sweet, and like it's just not so like this is the end. You know what I mean? It's like this is goodbye for now, kind of like a vibe. Versus like Feel My Rhythm is very like it is a big production, and like to me, I like enjoy the song, but I don't think I could like see it every day. You know what I mean? I'd have to be like in the mood for it. And like Chill Kill for me is like it's a good song, but there are other Red Velvet songs that I would probably like put above it, which is why I would just Chill Kill that song.
Okay, I feel it. I don't know. It just like the chorus alone, I really, really love Chill Kill.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard Cosmic yet.
Oh, it's so good. I promise you your life will change.
What? Okay, so if you were to introduce somebody to Red Velvet, what would Cosmic be like the song that you would tell them, hey, listen to this song first?
I would say listen to Bad Boy. Because everyone's going to say listen to Psycho, but I'm like, no, that's not the song. That's not the song. He's like, you have to start out with something comfortable, because Red Velvet has a lot. Their discography is so large, and it's just like there's such a big variety of songs that you could choose from. If we're going title tracks, I would definitely recommend Bad Boy. If we're going B-sides, you could either choose the Peekaboo album, because Kingdom Come, obviously. But Chill Kill also has some phenomenal B-sides on there that I think a lot of people would like. And then Cosmic would be like, oh, and by the way, they're not just like R&B and like, you know, kind of stuff. They also make like fun pop songs, but, you know.
I think I would slide in a good little Russian roulette.
Me too. I was going to say that as well. I was like, because I'd be like, some of you have probably heard it already, like at some point, because it did go viral at one point. But the song is bubblegum pop done tastefully, is what I would call Russian roulette, because it's like funky, it's like weird, it's almost like pop disco-y, but like EDM. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's such a weird mix of songs, and it's very bright, but the dance is very easy to do. It's very like catchy. The music video is crazy. Like you would not think that would be the music video for this song, but you know, they're killing each other, so great.
When are
right?
they not killing somebody though?
That's true. Whether it's a man or, you know, themselves, like
Werewolves.
or each other. It's like it's just, or a house. Like they just keep it just happens.
It just never stops.
Right. That's just their brand at this point, is just death to them all.
Oh my goodness. All right. So the final question is a two-parter.
Okay.
Do you have any like final words for your my first ever guest? And let us know any upcoming projects that you have in store for your community.
Well, this whole experience was like super fun. Like, I just like to be able to yap, and I'm glad that, I get to be one of the first people to yap.
I've had so much fun.
Right. And it's just like, I feel like I've gotten like, to know you better as well, just like as a person. And I think that alone is like a really cool experience. And that's what I'm saying with like the whole streaming and content creation thing, is like you start to meet people who are like in the same like space as you, and like the connections that you make and the networking that you do is like, you make great connections, but you also make great friendships. And I think like I feel closer to you now that I like, kind of get to share my experience, and I get to like, share the things that work for me, and like hopefully like, whoever is listening to this and who is watching this, like, also can feel some kind of like, sense of there's somebody that like believes in me. And like these two right here are like people who, can be figures in my content creation journey. And I think that's really powerful. And I think this in and of itself is also like a great thing, to like get people that too, to be like, I want to know about your story. I want to know about like how you got started. Cause like, it's also, I'm sure it's motivating for you too, to hear like stuff just with like other people's experiences. I'm a big, like, tell me about your life person, because like I always say, I'm a very feelings and like empathy based person, where I want to know what your story is. I want to know, like what your backstory is, where you come from, like how you got here, and all this kind of stuff, because it's inspiring to see creators like see their journeys and like explain like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Like sometimes I have a really hard time doing what I want to do, but also like, getting to have a space where, listeners can kind of be like, do I want to do this? Is this something that I want to do? And hear it from people who are doing it now is super cool. And when I saw your post about it, I was just like, wait, that's such a great idea. And I think like it's good for a lot of creators to know that like your average Joe Schmo can do it. Like your mom could be a streamer. Your like 10-year-old like sister could be a streamer. Like your dog could be a streamer. Like
there are dog streamers.
Right. I was just like, anybody can be a content creator. It's just, whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, this whole experience has been super fun, and it's almost like self-reflecting too, because when I got the list of questions that you were potentially going to ask, it also made me think, like, me personally, be like, yeah, what has streaming done for me? Like, what has content creation done for me? What have I learned? How has it helped me grow as a person? And I think it's like good for your the people that you have on the show too, because it like kind of makes them, look in towards themselves and be like, what am I doing to make myself known? What am I learning about myself? What am I learning about my community? Do I have a community? Like, there's a whole bunch of questions that you end up going through, and like after kind of talking about it, it does put things into perspective, and it does kind of let me know kind of where I'm at in terms of like my content creation journey and like being a streamer and all that. And it's also like strangely motivating, because now I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this. I love when that happens. I love when that happens. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, in terms of like projects and stuff that I'm doing, I don't have anything like big planned. I'd say my biggest thing is that I am currently working on getting a VTuber model, and not for the reasons that people might think, because it's like, oh, everybody's getting a VTuber model. Yes, but also, like, I don't want to have to put myself together before stream all the time. Like, I kind of want to just, like, bum out and have,
That's
like, a
valid.
thing there. It's just like, somebody's there, right? Like, you can see a thing moving and talking, right?
Sometimes I just want to wear my PJs.
Right. Sometimes I want to roll out of bed and just hit go live. Because, like, I just, like, sometimes I don't want to have to put this together.
I don't want to be perceived today.
Right. I was like, some days I just want to, like, bum. I just want to, like, bedhead, no glasses, like, just rolled out of bed, maybe, like, in a blanket of some kind. I'm, like, streaming. But all you see is this...
Like...
Right. And all you see is just this, like, beautiful thing in the corner that's just, like, talking. And I'm just like, yeah. And if I were to turn my camera on right now, I'm like, hello. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally, like, the whole deal. But I have worked on... like the design for it. I drew everything myself so that the person who ends up like actually doing the model like has an easier time just like knowing what I want, because I literally drew it out myself. And I'm by no means an artist, so everything is very, very like rough.
I was about to say, oh, I didn't know you were Picasso out here.
Oh gosh, no, I'm more like Picasso's like great uncle of some kind. I know who he is, but do I got his paint hand? No. But yeah, so we're working on that. It's probably going to be a PNG tuber to start, because when I was doing some research on VTuber models, the amount that some of these people are spending on that is insane.
5,
but I get it.
6,000.
Yeah, I get it though, because it is a lot of work, and it is a lot of like workings of like how the thing operates. So I get it. But we're taking baby steps towards it. And then another thing that I have looming in the background is the Return of the Power Up project. Which for those of you who don't know, ReVeluv was on it on our first episode. And it was a very long episode, so there's some like structuring stuff that I have to, hone in on, but nonetheless it was still like a phenomenal experience. I loved hearing everybody's stories about their like K-pop journeys. So I don't have like a schedule yet for it, but I want to aim to do something at least once a month, if not once a month, once every other month, because it does take a lot of time to put that stuff together. Like knowing who you want to talk to, knowing like what topics you want to cover, actually reaching out to people and seeing what everybody's availability is. Like, I'm sure when you were doing this, you were like, girl.
It's very like hard.
Yeah.
Just like finding emails in general.
Oh my god, yes. The streamer that I mod for, Brikachu, she says the same thing. She's like, every time I want to reach out to people, it's hard to find people's emails, because like nobody has a business email these days, and if they do have it, I can't find it.
I'm searching. Oh my gosh.
Right.
But at least yours is easy, because it's like on your about me page. Like,
you see, I do whatever I can to make things easy.
Yes. I love that so much.
But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I had so much fun. In the beginning, I was like super nervous, but I felt like towards the like second or third question, I was just like, okay, it's just chatting with a friend.
Right.
I always keep that in the back of my head. That's why I wanted to start with people that I knew.
It's all about comfort. It's all about comfort, for sure.
This has been so much fun, and the time went by so fast.
I know. I didn't even realize that we were here for nearly 2 hours. I was just like, see, this is how
it's the same thing that happened the last time.
Exactly.
But this has been such an amazing experience and very eye-opening. And just like you said, I got to know you better. I hope that everyone watching or listening gets to know you better. And last but not least, please let everyone know where they can find you on the social medias.
Of course. I made I'm about making things easy for people. Everything that you can find me at is literally Daxximusss. 2 X's, 3 S's. It makes things very simple. I'm Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Blue Sky, which I'm trying. It is.
I love Blue Sky.
It is so relaxing to be on Blue Sky, because there's no like nagging or like negativity. Like it's very chill. But yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, and then I think that's it. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's like there's nothing there, so like following it does not make any sense right now. But soon, TM. Trademark.
To be continued.
Right, to be continued. It'll happen eventually, I'm sure, but for now, it's just that Daxximusss makes things very simple for y'all.
Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, ReVeluv.
And everyone watching, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. And look forward to more videos. And at the end of every show, we like to say good GG. So, GG to you.
GG's, ReVeluv.
Bye.
Bye.